ndithetha ndisindabeni ikude ndicinga sonke sinezithembiso sishiywa kuzo wakhe wathi kum igama lam uya kulibhala ethangeni ukuze lingaqimi kuye engqondweni nasentliziyweni kanti ndenze isiyatha mna nayo sohlule zindaba ezikude amasithela senze izithembiso neminqophiso ukuba singabonani ngeliso lenyama akodwa ukusidibanisayo kusaye kuphela mhlawumbe nqaye iqala ngentlonto zange ndinanze ndingazange ndiqaphele le nto inkulu namhlanje yayiqala kancinci kumane ndibhalela imiyalelo zothando kula makhasi onxibelelwano phela imini gungqu engakhange aphendule ndayiqonda mani ndayiqonda ukhondo nakele kule nkonzo andisengumfundisi sendaba ligosa ngasemnyaka kulo mzana ndisentloko yakhaya ndifana nodlula ngendlela ndithethwa nam ndingapha kuthanga uyabona babe ligqwirha ndibhabha ngenzisithi umtshayeli wam unditipile sele niyinto ebhodlilela ndisenamsebenzi loxo ngatsho kufuna sidlala umdlalo othando ludlala umdlalo lokwanzondo ixolile kungoku nje ndithwaxekile ndicula ndincamisayo ndixhwalekile ndisola ngongazenzisiyo ndigaxelekile akwinzingo ezingadluliyo ndibophelelekile kwityathanga elingakhulekiyo ndiphothekele luthando olungekhoyo iintlungu ziyazana nam koluthando ndingumagadenetha sendaba sisicaka ngumfanekiso ngqondweni wenqalathi kumkhwetha yayikade ndimi ingqawa ndandiqhayisa ngayo namhlanje kasanazo neentlungu kundixeleza ibonqena uba hayi kaloku mfana ndini kumsoba likhwapha ndikhalazi kodwa ndikhalazi akunani kodwa ndiyazi into enyazi ingabhabha phaa kodwa manzi kuyiwaselapha oluthando lude ludala nempandla ndirhuzukile ndirhuqukile ndihlambile zam izandla kodwa mandithi kuni phamba ninikane zontliziyo zendiqaphele kuba ndisuka apha iinyawo zinodaka ndiyawuphakamisela ubushomane bona nje kuba wathi igama lam uyakulibhala ethangeni ukuze lingacime kwingqondweni nasentliziyweni ndalinda wathi mandilinde ndalinda anaba amathunzi yapotyakala ibhobhile ndisalindile wacima izilo.
The problem is the same girl that you're talking about, she used to cry tears in the form of lost lovers.
Yes.
Her feet left trails of blood from walking over shattered dreams. Her pastor said God was love, so every night her knees would kiss the ground and she would shout to the sky. But Jesus blue-ticked her prayers. The problem is, her pastor said God was love, so every night her knees would kiss the ground and she would shout out to the sky. But Jesus blue-ticked her prayers.
That way, even if I never showed how much I loved you, my plans were to do so, but then things change now. I don't know, like even if I never showed how much I loved you, my plans were to do so, but then things change now. I don't even know how I feel about you, but it's about great. Zebeka apithiwe ngamantshontsha ndifuna igcina ngaphakathi ndanibala ukucacisela how I feel about us, but then ndabhidwa sisikhathi. What do I mean? I wasn't sure ukuthi I was late okanye I was too early okanye ndayazi ndabhideka ukuthi how I'll explain it. I was this close to show you how much you meant to me, but then wayichamela next time sathethi you told me uzongicacisela why you did what you did. Ndalinda nangoku andikayazi why you did what you did. Ndifuna uyazi man. Akho nto bingayi damcela nje yabo ndifuna uyazi. In this case azoba ipride yami ezofela ityala ukuvuma xa uphazamile noko ela lonyala. I'm still here waiting for your explanation yevababa. I hate the fact that I hate you and still love you at the same time. I don't really hate you ngaphakathi. I just wish you all mine, but gay kobe ngizothini man. Now you're not mine, it hurts, but it's over grain bro. I'll be just fine someone. Sell amanzi ngiqole continue with my life yabo into njalo qha eyona nto benifuna
funa yazi
andithi makuthini
yazi
funa uyazi
yazi ezweni Isathanda uba mnandi xa kuqalwa. Bone.
Romantic face.
Kanye xa kuqala uqoma ajoyina ibumhluzana. Uqoma ufuna iphaka cause ibumhluzana imnandi le. Ngikhumbula xesha lam siqala nje udibana nalonto. Singekafiki apho zazibheda khona ngosasiqala.
Thina
Lala nice mna.
How was it? How's the
Ubone
feeling?
nifike nibalise pha kumuntu emnandi. But asikho lapho man.
How was the feeling?
Ukubone ndidibana lo sisi man. Uyeza phambi kwami.
Sure.
Siza phambi kwakhe.
Yeah.
Ukubone engathi ndizawudansa napha kumenqweni kanti uzawugqitha kule ndawo yakho nandakle yam. Andibamba ubuso bakhe ndidibana uncumo lakho nquma.
Hey, smile.
Indoda uyayibulala. Qombani kwazi unyaka adlule man lo. Hayi wazaye ndiphosa no high apho ndamcenga nje ngentweni. Athi khawundinqumele. Khawundinqumele. Suke namhlanje kubona lo mlomo uthungile. Sidima nentobeko komtshakazo uthokombile. Uthoba ichamba kodlalani ngalo nzalo bixhelela ukuphoqa. Ungamanzi othando echibini ngwatyiza ngcazela ndadiza zishumane phandle apha zixhelela ukurhaqa.
Yes.
Ingingqimisa ngawe kumantombazintsola miqheba. Awunamehlisela unaminyama unwele zingenanje bhabha. Abaqomi bengoma bathethile ngabe besithi siphelela ngubana kakho. Amaciko bophula izinhliziyo bangena bethuntelana beqhasa. Mjita namjita bethembe singakwazi ukuphila ngaphandle koko khawundinqumele. June, July, chunce bezo satya senqwele hamba ngezantsi kwesinqa somhlaba. Usesibana kaqhelwa kahleka kancime ndibavile kaloku mna ndisitsho bantwana tyhini. Kanyapho mama ndithethe ithomba ndiqhuba ugola bathi kakade gwala kulonini. Ndithi ntombazana khawundinqumele yini na? Khawuncume phareza kuvele izinyo legolide ncuma torha kuthi lenyelenye lamazinyo mhlophe qha ke kheki. Awunakhera unantshongo vula umlomo sisikube mhlophe umnyama obudede. Uncumo lwakho kwingqondo yendoda lwenze ncilikithi. Lwenza amanye amadoda xambulisane ngawe pixie udala isiphithiphithi. Ncuma kaloku maqondana yonke nehloko nokoko sidloko. Ukuncuma ngumsebenzi ogqiyazana likhweba bafana kokukhawuzelike. Uqhosha uzemisela ungathinzi musuko lo. Asizalani nana ngoko khawudundincumele. Ungandithi kubaqa ngakamntasa amehlo undithinzele. Umlomo ovaliweyo yakholoza ukunuka kanti umlomo ovuliweyo ivuma lakholoza ukusuka. Andikwazi de ndigabadele ndiqhabalake loxa ndibonge ndigadlela ndidanduluke kuba ndifuna nje uthi ndincumele. Kuthi nezidoloko sosifuba zizokhupheleka. Ncuma nanga lamazwi ecinweka incaka-ncaka. Ndinento ethi luncumo lwakho nokwenza sibone ngasonye inhliziyo zethu zibethe ngasingesi. Ncuma itye kumitye kuwe sinxele ngothando luphambanisayo. Ndibe yinje man, ube injakazi siqhane ngothando. Kungekho siphazamisayo ntombazana. Nobuphi man uzonifumana Black Forest Station. Khawungqomele. Seyinejana emnandi wena xa iqala la nto uyaqona?
Look, I'm smiling at myself today, you know. Not because of love,
Interesting.
but because of the love I have inside myself that makes me smile. There's a lot of things that I feel like I just love the way they happened. I feel like we are creatives, we are here today, you know, sharing our stories. But I feel like one of the things that Efika yamukapinoni namindo guti, you know what, ekuthandeni izinto okanye ekubuleleni izinto esizithandayo. We shouldn't be forgetting to acknowledge and love and give love to the heroes and give love to the people that live within us. You know, the people that are living within us. You know, and as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Biko, and as I'm looking at Biko here, it's more like, you know, it's like he's looking at us today. You know, it's like he's looking at us, but not really. It's not like he's not looking at us. But when I'm looking at the writing, it's saying, I write what I like. You know, and I'm like, really, he's living within us because we write what we like. You know, I mean, if blessing upon blessing I turn you, I mean, we wouldn't be here. But you know what? Something is sparking in me. The issue of the Kongolingoma, the Kaloingoma, the Kaloingoma,
The song.
and the song. You know what? I feel like, you know, Biko is there. There are many heroes that are there. We've lost Double Ace. We've lost so many people. And when we lost these soldiers, when we lost those people in the struggle, when we lost those people, we had songs, we had songs inside us. We had songs, so many songs, you know, that gave us strength, the power, the go ahead. Now the figure Angelondo like Kuba, but about Galileka. abanwele ziyephu gabulanitsikane banyanzelisa imithetho yabo kuzikhundla zethu bafika ngocalucalulo imihlambi yalana ze abaphilo bentshontsho dade nabantakwethu kulo ngxushungxushu leminyepha yasiphatha emanyeni ngokuthi nyanzelisa isibhulu njengolwimi lwezifundo zonke hayi ke zanxakama imazi zagqiba inkunzi bahlafuna mhlafuna omnye abafundi bathi ngunotshe abaculaculo linye besithi ngunongekhehle loqala iqhankqalazo yatsho intsholo isithi noba besidubula besibetha siyaya sithi kubi 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 yo siyaya siyaya noba kubi siyaya kusenjalo kwanuka irhuluwa akwangqongi kanunu ze yasisiphango semvula ezimbumbulu ingaba ayingenanimbala amaxhalanga amabhulu bullets zatsho imbumbulu kwityendyana Hector Peterson yalutyadidi legazi onqolo bomfundi but the 1976 students were not there to fight but for the presentation of their grievances but the boos responded with bullets and killed innocent souls. Out of that massacre, there was a brave soldier that never died and that still lives on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the song Ingoma, the songs of Maibu, yeah, Africa, the songs of Asijiki, the songs of the people, the songs of Asijiki. You songs, you were there. Seeing children jumping over the fences, calling Biko, calling Sobukwe, calling Mandela, the songs of the people. You songs, you were there. Seeing children jumping over the fences, calling Tambo. Songs of the people. Are you intoxicating or are you provoking? I am talking about the matter of all times. Ingoma zomzabalazo, ezingazange zawa, ezazisithi, sawudubula ibhulu. The songs of umzabalazo, ingoma ezazisithi, umhlaba kuqala phambi kwethu. Akho nkululeko ngaphandle komhlaba. Those were the songs. Long live to our songs. But now I want to say to you guys, we've commemorated the Mandelas. We have commemorated the Bigos. Are we so selfish to not one day commemorate the songs for their role and significance in our struggle? I say, long live to our songs.
Long live.
Ingoma. We shall sing these songs. Nangoku, sichonge.
Yo, yazi bhodle kule nto uyithethayo. I wish, because ngoku esithi struggle asifani nesabo.
Yes.
But sisa influenced zizinto ezasenzeka kubo. You know. So kulaa nto uthethayo uba basaphila kuthi, you know, they still living in and through us. The struggle continues. We're still fighting those same fights of ndobana. Sizama recognized as abantu nathi, you know, because even though the government is black and whatnot, but thina abantu baphila apha ezantsi siyaziva ezazivubeko zentobana i-privilege isesebantwini abamhlophe, you know, nendlela sometimes abasithutha ngayo and all that stuff. So sometimes ungaske ndibabhalele ileta belungu ndithi, dear white people, I like you guys sometimes. Like when you are genuinely in a hurry and you're not picking up your pace and clinching to your bag because one of my brothers is walking towards you and you are intimidated by the fact that they just have a bit more melanin than you do. Dear white people, I like you sometimes. Like when you genuinely smile and you're not just grinning at me because you feel awkwardly uncomfortable around all this awesomeness that your ancestors tried to kill, not realizing that when a seed dies, it multiplies. It only comes to life because a tree grows and it produces even more of its fruit after its own kind with the same seed. Because that's how God ordered nature to work. You should read Genesis 1. Or maybe ask Pharaoh what happened when he oppressed the Israelites. Because they just continue to multiply and grow and become a great nation. And maybe your ancestors should not have used the Bible they should have read the Bible before they used it to offend it. Because it says, thou shalt not covet what belongs to your neighbor. but they lusted after our forefathers' wealth. And thou shalt not steal. And they gave us the very same Bible of truth to steal our land. They made us hate Jesus, who had nothing to do with the evil. They just pawned his word just like they pawned us into slavery. Dear white people, I like you sometimes. Like when you genuinely love, and you're not adopting a black kid or a black friend at the office just so you can say, hey, I'm not racist. I have a black kid or a black friend. Her name is Gomisa. Dear white people, I like you sometimes. Like when you're not ignorant and you're not saying dumb things like, I don't see color. Acknowledging the beauty in our differences, because that's what makes art. And the contrast. It is evidence that we are all created by the master artist who arts from heaven. All good art has contrast. And don't you think that the variation of our skin colors is evidence of that? And it tells the same story too, that this is something good. Dear white people, I really like you. Sometimes. Like when you're not impatient and irritated by my thick English accent or my inability to pronounce some of your words, because language is beautiful, but your English, and I really think you need to know this, because your English, it cost us more than money, because those of us that you pat on the back and you say, oh, you speak so well, we paid a price for this English, just so we could get a good job one day. See, your English, it didn't just cost us money. It wasn't just expensive school fees, no, but it cost us family. You see, my mother had to work multiple jobs just so she could put food on our table and still be able to pay our fees. And my friends tell me stories of how their parents don't even know them because they had to live their lives in hostel just so they could have your English. You see, your English is costing us. It's costing us our Xhosa, isiZulu, isiSwati, isiPedi, isiNdebele, isiTswana, and every other vernacular language that is out there, that is dying because of your English. So that, and every other vernacular language that is dying because of your English, because in this school, you only speak English. You are here to learn English. That is what your parents are paying for. That is what our teachers yelled at us every time we spoke our vernac on school grounds. So my dear white people, I really like you sometimes.
Just sometimes.
But dear black people, I love you a lot. But sometimes we are the ones who perpetuate this behavior in the white people. Sometimes we are just like them.
Yeah.
Just like how I've been emphasizing in this poem that I like white people. Sometimes. And I love black people. A lot. And that's not right.
Sure.
I guess that's why we all need grace.
Hey.
Interesting. That was a very deep letter. That was a very deep letter. And me, with the same spirit, I wrote letter of the same nature, but it was addressed to my blackness.
Sure.
This is a love letter to my blackness. I saw how the sun was staring at you this morning. I think it's jealous of how you turn its rays into pieces of gold. Your melanin glows so as to mock the moon, resisting the false narrative of your ancestors whose blood and sweat still nourishes your skin. This is a love letter to my blackness. You are a documentation of the township experience, an archive of the Kwaito melody, and your bones still carry the memory of Ispanzul. Hail to the Shibin queens, who carry their stubborn afros so well so as to say that a queen should not exist without a crown. This is a love letter to my blackness. because I saw how the sun was staring at you this morning. I think it's jealous of how you turn its rays into pieces of gold. This is a love letter to my blackness.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Enough for the day. Nah.
Sivala imilomo. That's enough for the day.
It can't be enough because, like, I mean, you know, in light of everything that we spoke about, and going back to the pandemic, I think Utax asked a very important question as to what new phrases have we learned during this time. And I've actually been taking this time, looking at myself and trying to learn about other people's perspective of the world, and just like looking at what is going on. And this love letter that I wrote to my blackness was obviously influenced also by what is going on, right, with the whole Black Lives Matter. And I looked, it took me back to when I was talking about the enemies, right, as to who exactly do we fight during this time. You understand? Do we fight the struggles that black people are faced with? Do we fight, do we address the issues that women are faced with in the very same energy, also having to, deal with the coronavirus? And it got me thinking that I don't really need the sanitizer to wash my hands so I can be safe from the virus. You get your white knee off my neck because I cannot breathe. I don't need the sanitizer. Wash my hands so that I can be safe from the virus. You get off your white knee off my neck because I cannot breathe. How am I a threat when I have my hands cuffed behind my back and my body laying down on the cold pavement? Get your white knee off my neck. I cannot breathe.
I'm strong enough sozo utsho khona umtshumza ngaphakathi ayisoloko isengqondweni mara kusithatha ngokunqakala. I keep on telling myself it's nature, ngifuna ukubhema abathakathi. 4 holes on my body, my rib cage so damaged. There's a pipe there that drains ne ncedisa uphefumula ungapheliyo kuyahlola nalena indaba isezodlula. When I cough it drains, when I laugh it drains. I'm dead. I had to live my life and start a new one. What a damn boss. When I told my bro I'm done with this, he was so sad. I took a pen and started conversation with my notepad.
Conversation with your notepad.
Conversation with my notepad. The only thing like I know was is that like sometimes I hate being sober. Like I hate it. Sometimes I just hate being sober. I smoke a lot of weed and get high and tell myself it's over. I've never thought of taking my own life. Did you soldier? And afraid of death. The only time I cry. Sometimes I just wish sometimes it's get hard.
Hard times never last. Hard times never last. It's what I told my friend at school when we were playing Yo Mama jokes. It was fun at the beginning and then it got too personal. But then I understand because it was Yo Mama jokes. I thought they were jokes and then he started including my reality, but then I had to understand because it was Yo Mama jokes. Yo Mama's so black. Yo Mama's so black. Your mama's so black, she buys her groceries using food stamps. Your mama's so black, she had to struggle just to put a roof over your head. Your mama's so black, your father beats her up every weekend. Your mama is so black, 2 of her kids are dead. 1 is serving a life sentence. Your mama is so black, you wish to make her proud one day. Your mama is so black, she had to struggle most of her life. Your mama is so black, I can see it in the shoes that you're wearing at school.
Sure.
Your mama is so black, your mama is so black, your mama is so black. It's not even fun anymore. But I understand, because it was your mama's joke.
Sure. Your mama is so black.
I said, that's enough for that.
Your mama is so black. Your mama is so black. She died from HIV/AIDS. Dear mama, I am scared. Ever since you left, I've been afraid. Afraid of living, afraid of breathing. I never thought that you would die so young. But again, sesilapha, and there's so many things happening. And I have questions for you, like, mama kwakutheni uzungandixelela ubomi buhlaba kanje? Xa sidibana nabantu abanje. Okanye ndim ndandingamamelanga nje. Okanye ndim ndandingamamelanga nje.
Hey.
Yeah, guys. yeah. I don't know if anyone has any last comment or anything, then I think we can Ted, that's enough for the tea. That's enough for the tea. Yeah.
That's enough.
Sure. Your mama's so black.
Mama's so black. Because these are stitches of a woman untouched, unspoken truth of what she's been through. But now I'm just naming a few. See, if it didn't exist, who shall die in silence and pretend resemblance, being punched at and still be patient because one believes so much in resilience. If one didn't live in a shack that July winds leaves it a slack, and still be proud to call it a home even though it's shivering cold, who will it be to be teary out of broken thoughts and unmet desires, smiles at the buyer's face just to put food on the table even though one knows the situation is unstable? These are stitches of a woman, untouched, unspoken truth of what she's been through. I'm just naming a few. See, she was 8 years old when it started. She was scared to tell her mother, for she knew how defensive she was of her husband, her stepfather, the taxi driver, the one who always took her to school, and she always thought it was school. Right before he started visiting her room, cold his hands, he would smuggle them inside her tiny thighs just so he could. These are stitches of a woman, untouched, unspoken truth of what she's been through. But I'm just naming a few. See, now she writes poems to forget the memory of her stepfather's voice, hiding behind metaphors, pouring her secrets in her diary, probably the closest thing to a friend she's ever known. These are stitches of a woman, untouched, unspoken truth of what she's been through. But I'm just naming a few. See that girl walking down the street, wearing a dress looking like an old shit, rosy cheeks, pink lips. She's going to a community center to receive her meal. Then she has to rush back to the clinic to get her ARVs. These are stitches of a woman, untouched, unspoken truth of what she's been through. I'm just naming a few.
Kuba asuka qhumka amaqanda isikhukukazi leswafukamile. Asuka qabuka amaqaba into yazana beligqobhoka elilizwe selibangile aphela lini. Ukumzi wesibonda nguchawe kamdange ngokwakhe. Leyo indoda echubileyo, indoda nomqolo, intongo omnquma, intonga yasekosi nekwasisiphatha amandla phela lini kwimi betshisa ibunzi. Akayedwa amadoda kuba le ndedeba yazeke mangwevini. intsengwanekazi ngomathembe ethu sophose kuwo isikhukukazi eli ikhaya lengqeqesho ngentsimbi 5 wonke umntwana endlini akho ndlalo ngandawo bathi ingqondo mayibesezincwadini ngoko wonke ubani apha elalini olusapho luthulele umnqwazi uthi ngxatshoke kwaba bazali abavelisa injingalwazi kodwa lithela amaxhosa ngento ngumthathi maxa wambi uyawuzala umlotha ithini nale nto le ayemfihlelo yobomi koko sisiba lwam singayiphatha kaloku eliwabani liwasakazi losuku laphoxo ngentondo ligqibele nentwazana lathi mhla linyathele ligada latshikiza laba nguzwi lakhe wafika udyopho lusapho ngobulotha bathi nqa iqala ngentlotlo ezinkulu ziqala kancinci kuba utshawe nendlovukazi babesiba lo umkhowe inqanaba lokhula kanti yindlela esogwenya lentwazana sisigulo esi esakubangela kube nzima nokuthula nanjenembongi umbhali imiba ebumila kunje likrazula umphefumlo iba lusizi bona nje ukubona udade bethu benyityumpeka bephile bentshontsho ngenxa yengamithetho yabazali nokuphulaphula ithini nalento ingaba ingqeqesho yabazali kusene na enza amantombi akhethe indlela endexe konjazi yaluma ingaba ligqwabha lesiqalekiso kumantombazana ilenza abe ngawo amfamekazi ezelizwe bangayazi baxabe basile kuza kuqhuba bangazi bakobomi uba ulanyaza ngombane wezulu kuza kududuma xa kunamhlanje unomdada phela linubi kwamabala ndibavile besitsho besithi kaloku azangakhale kwamhla ezalwa asimothuki namhlanje xa yigusha ingcuba buchophe sithi kaloku azangakwazi ukuziqoqosha ubuntu bakhe bamenza wazibhokoxa wanikezela ngesidima sakhe sobuntombi kumadoda nawe xa kunamhlanje mbiza ngeliphume izandla yomarhosha iziqebhe zakhe zilisembombo zona zelizwe amadoda encoma ophatha epokothweni kube zintsikelelo bayancoma ndibavile bekambi besithi intombi katshawe inesiphiwo sokudlala ngomlenze loo nto iphothisweyo ungazuyilahla ithini nale nto kuba kothiwa hata kwanhlandlolo wakhetha ukuzibhuqabhuqa kumalahle xa kunamhlanje nanku yayiculwa kwaba sekwabekile efe ephila akusekho nendoda eshukunyelwa ngumzimba iintsulo sezivele ngaphandle azithini nale nto
ithini nale nto
ithini nale nto ithi hayi masiqukumbele ithi masiqukumbele
sithi unendlebe netyala
unendlebe nje netyala sekunjalo nje andiyazi ndibone ugxobha ingathi khona into afuna uthi nje asikhuphe ngayo xa senje siphuma kanje ufaka nje mask oh I get thank you guys yabulela man like that was very insightful informative nje hey ninzulu man ninzulu but ke
we've been longing for
umuntu yeah